local news that matters. This is CBS 17 News.
There's no reason anybody anywhere in America should be telling any child about transgenderism, homosexuality, any of that filth.
Words made from the pulpit of a North Carolina church by Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson raising some eyebrows tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rod Carter.
And I'm Angela Taylor. Now, the video actually was from June. It went viral tonight after State Senator Jeff Jackson put it out on social media and called for Robinson to resign.
New at 11, CBS 17's Nick Sturdivant is digging deeper tonight. And Nick, you reached out to Senator Jackson and also the Lieutenant Governor about that video.
Yeah, that's right, you guys. I spoke with Senator Jackson, and he called Robinson flat out a bully. Robinson's office told me tonight that Senator Jackson is twisting the truth to boost his campaign.
And yes, I called it filth. And if you don't like it that I called it filth, come see me and I'll explain it to you.
For roughly 30 minutes, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson spoke in front of a congregation at Asbury Baptist Church in Seagrove. I tracked down the entire speech on the church's Facebook page, posted June 8th.
Those AR-15s and Glock 9mm and 45 calibers, where do you think they came from? Who do you think inspired them? God knew the world he was putting us into.
Robinson talked about the Second Amendment, critical race theory, but it's this clip that Senator Jeff Jackson says blew him away that months later is making its rounds on social media.
There's no reason anybody anywhere in America should be telling any child about transgenderism, homosexuality, any of that filth.
I watched it 5 times before I was convinced that he really was saying what I thought he was saying.
Jackson tweeted the video, typing, quote, "There's no debate here. This is open discrimination. It is completely unacceptable."
I just don't think he's had enough conversations with members of this community to see that they're every bit of deserving respect as anyone else in this state.
It got tens of thousands of views. Did you feel like maybe I'm fueling this video and getting more eyes to it?
We have an obligation to call out gross violations of decency. And when you see a violation like that, you can't just turn a blind eye to it.
And Governor Roy Cooper's office said in a statement via email, North Carolina is a welcoming state where we value public education, and the diversity of our people is abhorrent to hear anyone, especially an elected official, use hateful rhetoric that hurts people and our state's reputation. As for Lieutenant Governor Robinson's office, they said in a statement, the Lieutenant Governor was referring to teaching about these issues in the classroom of North Carolina public schools, not to the LGBTQ community. These issues do not belong in the classroom. They should be discussed at home. Live in Raleigh, Nick Sturdivant, CBS 17 News.
All right, Nick, thank you.
New tonight, the airport released video of the attempted carjacking suspect from RDU.
Now, when this happened, we told you there weren't any security cameras in the parking garage. Now, a week and a half later, we learned that there was a camera near where this all occurred, and we have the video to show you.
CBS 17's Amy Cutler live at RDU tonight, getting answers about why it took so long for RDU to release that video. Amy.
Angela, Rod, and at this point, there's not really a good answer for it. It has been 9 long days since this attempted carjacking here at the airport. CBS 17 has continued to push for answers, to push for more information, and we finally received some new information today. A week and a half after that attempted carjacking at RDU, airport police released this 25-second video clip of the suspect. Here's a photo, and here's it zoomed in. Still can't make it out, neither could we. After interviewing the victim, gathering evidence, is that the best they have to go on? I went to the airport authority looking for information.
Hello?
Hi, my name is Amy Cutler. Through a bell at the door, I explained why I was there. 5 minutes later, someone from their media line responded.
Yeah, we're not going to be providing any additional comments or granting interviews.
What would your message be to, people at the airport that have concerns about this?
We're not going to provide any additional information.
This is a copy of the police report. They refer to the incident as an armed robbery. Much of it, including the complaint statement and investigation of the scene, have been redacted. Here's what we could make out. The woman had just put her luggage in the back. She got into the driver's side. When next thing she knows, she is face to face with a rifle. She says the suspect tried to take off with her inside that vehicle, but for whatever reason, he stopped, got out, and fled.
You don't see any security look around. You just don't see it.
I showed Richard Burr and others arriving back at RDU that photo of the suspect. Can you identify that man?
Not at 50 yards.
What do you think this photo is good for?
No idea.
You think the airport needs to do better?
If somebody got in here with a rifle and tried to carjack somebody, probably so, yeah.
Yeah, probably so is what he had to say. Now, important to note, no one was injured in this attempted carjacking. RDU police, though, are urging you to take another look at that video and photo. They are urging anyone with information to give them a call. Live at RDU, Amy Cutler, CBS 17 News.
All right, Amy, thank you. New at 11, one of the men accused of shooting Raleigh police officer Charles Ainsworth is going to prison for more than 20 years. A federal judge sentenced Cedric Kearney today. Officer Ainsworth was shot several times January 29, 2019. He spent months in the hospital and doing rehab before returning to work a year later. Officer Ainsworth has since retired. 3 other people are still facing charges connected to the shooting.
Wake County schools will open 3 new schools next fall to help ease some of the overcrowding they're dealing with, and that means hundreds of students are going to be attending different schools next year. And that could mean that changes will take place at 53 elementary schools, 15 middle schools, and 11 high schools. New at 11, CBS 17's Galat Malamed is digging deeper into the school shuffle, if you will, and how families are reacting to it. I know not a lot of people are happy. I'm sure some people are, but not everybody is.
Rob, this is one of those schools that the district says is overcrowded. Some families here at Abbott's Creek are being moved to Durant Road Elementary down the road from here. Parents I spoke to say it's splitting up their child's friend groups, and it's just another interruption in their child's education. First grader Beckett Winsler is fresh off the bus from Abbott's Creek Elementary School.
We've built relationships there and it's part of our family and we don't want to leave.
Wake County's school reassignment plan would send him and other students from Abbott's Creek to Durant Road Elementary School about a half a mile away.
We don't know anybody there. All of my son's friends are in this neighborhood and there's a line so his friends would continue going to Abbott's Creek.
The district says the proposal will relieve crowding at Abbott's Creek and increase the base attendance area for Durant Road, part of a larger plan impacting some students from about 80 schools. According to the district's address lookup, houses to my left are staying with Abbott's Creek, but houses to my right, including ones on the same block, are going to Durant. This map shows the reassignments. The green area jutting into blue represents students who will be switched. Richard Potts says he doesn't want his son to lose his IEP team.
To uproot that stability when everything else is questionable is it's pretty upsetting. It's just infuriating when I really think about it.
According to the district, only rising 5th and 8th graders can request to stay at a capped school like Abbott's Creek. Students reassigned from schools that are not capped can request to stay put, but they won't receive transportation.
He might not be with these friends that, have been his support system through COVID, and it just stinks that every year he's had to adjust to a new learning style.
The district says that on November 16th, a second draft of the plan will be presented to the board, and then later in November there will be a public hearing. On December 7th is when the board's expected to vote on a final plan. Live in Raleigh, Galat Malamed, CBS 17 News.
All right, Galat, thank you. Breaking tonight, the bill to raise the U.S. debt limit to $480 billion cleared the Senate. This could keep the government funded until December 3rd. The White House says President Biden will sign the temporary extension as soon as the measure is approved by the House. The debt ceiling increase expires the same day as the temporary government funding extension, setting the stage for yet another possible budget showdown in less than 2 months.
While casting doubts on the legitimacy of the 2020 election, some Republican lawmakers today said they want to go to Durham to inspect voting equipment. They even said that they could bring the General Assembly police with them to try to get in.
CBS 17's Capitol reporter Michael Hyland digging deeper and found out state election officials say Republicans are just promoting conspiracy theories.
Nearly a year after the 2020 election, a group of Republican state lawmakers said Thursday they want to investigate further in a state former President Donald Trump won. With evidence tape in hand, Republican State Rep Jeff McNeely prepared to go to Durham after pulling the county's name from a hat.
If we have to use, like I said, our escorts and the NCGA police to help us, we will do whatever it takes to go about our mission.
They say they want to verify whether any machines were connected to the internet, even though that's already against state law to protect from cyber interference, and there's been no evidence that any were connected to the internet.
The goal that we're trying to achieve is to build confidence in our elections.
Do any of you up there believe that Joe Biden is the duly elected president of the United States?
No.
Where do you believe the widespread fraud occurred?
We're not sure. That's why we're here.
There have been audits over and over again across the country after the election. What is it you're looking for that you haven't found yet?
We're not looking for anything in particular. What we're looking to do is build confidence in our elections. I've said it once, I've said it several times today. That's the objective, that's the only objective.
By telling people they shouldn't have confidence in the results we all saw?
We're not telling anyone they shouldn't have confidence in the election.
You just said you don't believe that Joe Biden is the duly elected president of the United States.
We are doing what our constituents are asking us to do.
Democratic Representative Zach Hawkins, who's from Durham, warned them.
You are not welcome in Durham County, and if you try, it may not work out for you well.
It's hard for us to understand. It's promoting conspiracy theories.
Karen Brinson Bell is head of the State Board of Elections. She says they have tested, audited, and certified the results, and they have to keep the voting equipment secure.
It doesn't even make sense at this point. It's really unfair that there is this distrust being sown in our state.
Election officials also don't want unauthorized people coming here to inspect the machines because here in Durham, they're still processing the ballots from this week's local election, and the machines can't be tampered with. I also reached out to the chief of police with the General Assembly to ask if they would comply with this or even have the authority to come here, and did not get a response. In Durham, Michael Hyland, CBS 17 News.
New at 11, we have the very latest numbers on how many state workers are fully vaccinated. So earlier this week, Dr. Mandy Cohen told us 40 health department workers had not been vaccinated and that those employees could possibly be terminated. In the governor's office, we know that 70 out of 71 workers are vaccinated. That's about 99%. 93% of the employees in the Office of State Human Resources are vaccinated, and the Department of Public Safety is at about 56%. Overall, 72% of the mandated state workers are vaccinated.
Durham is looking to make expanded dining outside restaurants during the pandemic permanent. Since July of last year, restaurants have been using parking spaces out front to socially distance. Recent survey shows support from businesses and visitors to keep those in place. Proposed changes to the current ordinance would allow businesses to continue on-street dining. The area would have to level with the curb, and barriers provided by businesses will be inspected by the city.
Outdoor dining is an important part of our socialization and socializing in this community.
The changes would also require restaurants to pay any necessary fees associated with the parking spaces they take up. Christmas now 78 days away, and some towns in the Triangle may be running short on a little holiday cheer this year. Garner is the latest community to announce it's canceling the Christmas parade. The town says it's due to staffing shortages. However, they are planning other family-friendly holiday activities on December 4th, and the annual tree lighting will be combined with the Garner Night Market on Friday, November the 6th.
So, of course, at the heart of many discussions is the choice about whether to take the COVID-19 vaccine.
But if you choose not to, it might cost you more every month. Coming up, why some insurance companies are charging non-vaccinated people more on their premiums.
And we've been watching it all week. It's still not that impressive, but there's a chance something could develop off our coastline. Whether or not it gets a name from the National Hurricane Center, this area of clouds and showers could have an impact on our weather this weekend. I'll show you how that's going to happen, taking you hour by hour through the next 48 hours, coming up in your forecast.